of total and utter bewilderment as the whole stadium erupted in a state of euphoria that only a narcotic could bring. So, the car was put on the wagon, on he went, through the pits for a lap of honour, and through the pits, a guard of honour was there. Everyone applauding him, everyone wanting to shake his hand, everyone wanting to talk to him. It was like he was a member of One Direction. George still could not believe it, and I spoke to him pretty soon after, and, well, you can tell from the things, he still could not believe it.
So on, George.
Hey, Johnny.
You're world champion. After the...
Nah.
You still doesn't feel right, does it?
It does not feel real. One bit. I can't believe it.
I mean, looking at it, what happened last year and what happened the year before, this is something else. I mean, I don't think there's a dry eye in the house, and everyone is coming to congratulate you. How does it feel to be world champion?
I don't know. I've no idea. I'm speechless. I really am speechless. I can't believe it has actually happened. After all the build-up, right? After all the build-up and all the disappointment last year and coming close the year before, and I honestly can't believe it's actually happened. I'm shocked.
I remember a conversation with you about this time last year, and I said to you, Carlton Beef would be the one that you would win, and you had a good old chance. You were in tears last year.
Yeah, thank you. No, I was. I won't lie. Yeah, I was. I let it get to me last year. We shouldn't take it so seriously, but there was so much built up on it. I had so much expectation, and leading so much. We thought we had it, and then I definitely let it get to me when we didn't. But I think there's a valuable lesson there, because
it just proves that karma exists, doesn't it? Today you've got it. I mean, there's a lot of people in the audience and in the grandstand who were counting down those laps and playing. Please don't get a spinning car. Please don't have another yellow flag. We cannot take it. And I certainly, my heart rate went up 100%. George, it gives a great pleasure. Congratulations, world champion.
Thank you so much, man. I can't believe it.
You're not sleeping today.
The words those two young girls at the end always say, "You're not sleeping tonight." Totally. Everyone was still on a euphoric high, even the following day, when George turned up with a gold roof and he just didn't know where the hell he was. It was a real true family affair, with all the family members obviously being at Cowden Beef. It was an opportunity for the family to come and watch it. And one person, I'm pretty certain, was the proudest man there, was George's granddad. He just had the biggest beaming smile on his face as he was there. He had a drink with the team, and he was totally, in awe of his grandson's achievement, and that was really brilliant. Both his sisters were there, and of course, one sister is of course the better half of Dave Polly. That's Liz, and I spoke to Liz pretty soon after as well.
It wouldn't be a George McMillan win if we didn't speak to his sister. Explain to us what your emotions are right now.
Disbelief. What just happened?
It's amazing, isn't it? After last year, last year you didn't watch it. Did you watch it this year?
I did. I watched every lap.
And how were the kittens?
I had a few.
I mean, it's a good job you're not pregnant this year, is all I can say, or else you would be giving birth on the side. I think you give birth to a few kittens there, haven't you?
Yeah.
Obviously, a truly emotional moment for George, a truly emotional moment for you. You must be so proud of him.
Very, very proud of it. I can't put it into words, really. He deserves it so much, especially what's happened last year. He deserved it last year, really, but I think he can take that now, knowing what's happened this year, and winning it at Cowden Beef is just amazing. Everybody's come here, everybody's here, because it's the World Final at the race wall. It's special, and he's just won it, and it's amazing.
And of course, a nice, touching tribute to your old man on the grid there. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, if you want, you're not going to get me talking about that because I'll just cry. So yeah.
You're going to get me crying again in a minute, right? I'm going to be a sister of the world champion, innit?
Yeah, I'm away to get drunk now.
And Liz does like a drink, as is well known. Well, it's not like that. I'm not saying she's, but she does like a drink. And I dare say a few drinks will be partaken on Saturday night. I don't think I've got any special Cornish gin or anything like that this year, Liz, but rest assured we'll think of something for next year. Don't you worry. So that's this for this part. So we'll be back in a moment and we'll be looking at what happened next with the Gold Roof.
Missed an episode of Stocks Radio? I feel your pain, brother. Missing an episode can bring on mental episodes and life-changing circumstances. However, there is a solution on the horizon. iTunes! Simply open up iTunes, go to podcasts and search for Stocks Radio. Hit subscribe and it doesn't cost you a penny. And the next episode is dropped straight into your listening device. Rate, review and subscribe and never miss an episode again. Warning, missing an episode doesn't actually bring on mental episodes. Your experience may differ. The end stops can go down as well as up. Your home is at risk if you set fire to it.
So what happens when a big accident occurs?
Alright, we have the cutting team kit up, please. Cutting team the kit up. Get the car stabilised.
Stocks Radio had unrivaled access to a training day for marshals.
Red flag, red flag, red flag, red, red, red.
From safe extraction to firefighting, we went behind the scenes with Team Autospeed. Stocks Radio, behind the scenes, hitting safety head on, available to download now at Spreaker.com/Stocks Radio. Stocks Radio. Stocks Radio.
A horrendous crash flash! This is Roscoe P. Coltrane!
The F2 Show.
Shouldn't be at the meeting.
Anyway, we're going to go. We're having real good fun and I love you, boy.
Right then, my big green flag, a game of racing.
Welcome back to the champion story here on Stocks Radio, the Geomac Golden Year. So, the World Finals over and done with, done and dusted, 2014. Where does George go next? I'll tell you where he goes. First championship meeting he went to after the World Final was the Benevolent Fund down at Bristol at the Mendance Raceway, and it was an opportunity to get involved in what was only can be described as one of the classic races of the season. Now, add to the mix, you've got Bradbury. Add to the mix, you've got Moody. Add to the mix, the local experts such as Mr. Hooper and some lower graders into the mix like Si Haraway, and you have an absolute cracking race. And that's what happened at the Benevolent Fund itself. As Si Haraway sped away to an early lead to get caught by George McMillan. Now, behind them, there was an absolute scrap between the four top drivers, Hooper, McMillan, Bradbury, and Moody. Now, everyone was trading blows, left, right, and centre. And it was one of those races, and it was George who came out on top at the end of it, as several big blows between Messrs. Bradbury and Moody curtailed their chances of getting a bit further up the grid. So, for George, it was a title that his old man, George Senior, won, and it's a Benevolent Funds championship, which of course was one of the titles that he did. Like I say, his old man won back in back along. Excuse me. And with it, obviously, with the Rose Bowl was presented to him, it was very much a case that he was over the moon with what he received. Now, let's go back to when it was. Obviously, we had a little interruption from his Dave Polly, so excuse the swear word on this one. But hopefully, everything is just okay. So there we go. We'll play it now for you. It's George McMillan interview post Ben Fund.
A sunny October Sunday here at Bristol here today, and Benevolent Fund trophy won in quite emphatic display by George McMillan. George, That was some race.
Yeah, I enjoyed it anyway. Big hits with some top names. It's always good fun, but to come out on top's even better.
Yeah, because there was a little bit of needle between Mr. Bradbury and Mr. Moody, and then obviously Mr. Hooper and then Mr. Bradbury, and then Mr. Moody decided to go in with that, and then he just went, I'll join in too.
Yeah, well, you've got to, haven't you? You've got to just get stuck in and hope you come out on top. And they were all hitting hard and battling. I just kept the nose in there and rode the big hits, stuck my nose in, and thank you, Dave. Yeah, it's good.
So, talk us through the race. Obviously, at the start, you got quite a good start there.
Yeah, I've got a good start, and I knew I had Bradbury, Hooper, Moody behind me, so just run as much as you can and hope you get the breaks. And we were chasing Cy Haraway there. He was fast at the start. I wasn't really reeling him in that much. We were getting there slowly, and then the yellow flag helped to get to him, and then helped the rest get to me, and the big battle started for there.
Of course, now all eyes on the final. Should be a bit tasty as well.
Yeah, well, the good thing is, with this wing I get to start at the back now, and I can just watch them, sort each other out and hopefully sneak through again.
It's not a gold roof curse now, is it?
Who said number one was unlucky? Number one's not been unlucky for me so far.
So you're sticking with number one for the rest of the season and then going 100, or are you going to stay 100 or number one for the remainder of the season?
The plan was to go one for the rest of this year and then change to 100. But now that I've seen the car with a big one on it, I love my number 100. I always say 100 is not my number, it's my dad's number, and I just use it as a kind of mark of respect to him. And I would love to see 100 on a gold wing, but how often do you get the chance to go number one? I get to go 100 and pay my respects to him every year, but how often do we get a chance to go number one? Yeah.
Maybe for the Mac 100 next year.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. If we keep number one next year, we'll maybe do that. We'll get 100 on there for that.
So yes, a magnificent end to the season, and it was indeed number one that George decided to keep down. Now, George told me when he was a youngster, he wasn't a big fan of his dad. He was a big fan of Alistair King. Now, for all you stock car historians and purists, or people that aren't old enough to remember the Buxton World Final in 1999, Alistair King was the big Scottish hope back then. He was the youngest world champion, for all of 1 year, when he was 21 years old, and the first driver to win the world title with a Pinto. He was number 74, well, he was actually number 174, then 74, then number 1. And with the big wing, with the number 1 on it, obviously that's where George remembered everything there. So a gold wing, number 1, that's where George came in. And then obviously Alistair, one of his favourite drivers when he was growing up, going to watch when he was a wee nipper. So in many ways I should have 642 as mine. So there you go, if I ever became world champion, if I ever drove. So with number 1 on the horizon, it was time to make plans for 2015. And that he did. Now, with 2015, the plan was basically to have an attempt at both surfaces. His old car became a shell car, and that was all done. And then a brand new car was built from the Polysport Workshops and unveiled at the NEC, at the Autosport show. And we all caught up with the world champion there, still beaming, still very happy, still over the moon, and still can't quite believe that he's still world champion some 3-4 months later.
Okay, new at the Autosport show with the Brisker Formula 2 champion of the world. Still sounds good, doesn't it, George?
Never gets old, never get bored of hearing that.
So you've got a new shell car in the live action arena, and you've had a repanelled one of the world winner. What else are you planning to do this year?
Race as often and as wide as we can. Just do as many meetings as we can, and hopefully be good. And you never know. Hopefully try and defend the title.
So you're looking this year and doing a bit of travelling, showing off the gold?
Yeah. We want to race, as far and wide as we can. We hope to do every track. We're looking at possibly 1 or 2 trips to Holland to race on both surfaces over there. Would be nice. Ireland in June, hopefully. And every track on the mainland is kind of what we're aiming to do. So
that is some achievement. Are you trying to out Moss Paul Moss?
Nah, you can't take that away from him. Doing every qualifier. I'm not sure we'll manage every qualifying round, but we'll certainly do a few and see how we go on.
So that means you'll be heading down to deepest, darkest Cornwall then?
Yeah, for sure. At least once or twice.
Might have to get some hospitality out for that. So you've obviously, since winning the gold, you've gone on and you seem to have clicked up another game.